Nigeria today is in the fray of so much social malaise that the situation tends to overwhelm the senses. Relatively peaceful Nigeria with its dynamic, hardworking citizens who once used to be some of the happiest people on earth. There seems to have been a reversal of that peaceful situation in recent years, with so much threatening our nowadays fragile peace. How did we get our status quo as a nation? What do we as a people need to do to restore peace, progress, and prosperity to the nation? What are the roles of the legislative, political elites, policymakers, government apparatus at all levels, traditional rulers, religious leaders, the academia, security operatives, or even we, the ordinary Nigerians in the streets? That's the conversation today on Bridges, as we attempt to bridge the gaps that have activated our divides and challenges. Welcome, I'm Mujima Konjola, and this is your program, Bridges, still working for a sustainable society. My guests to help us unravel the goings on are three learned persons, carefully chosen. They have been in the midst of it all and can analyze to help profile solutions as we go forward as a nation. From the University of Ibadan, Professor Dikru Adewale Yagbo Yaju, renowned scholar, political scientist, and consultant to several national and international organizations. Prof, you're welcome on Bridges. Also joining us from Kaduna is Dr. Lydia Umar, Executive Director, Gender Awareness, Trust, Development Expert, Chartered Mediator, Gender and Peace Building Expert, and a social scientist. Ma'am, you're also welcome on Bridges, and thank you again for sparing your time to be with us. Now, I have here my brother. You're welcome. Today is an exciting moment for us on Bridges. I'm here with one of the, should I say, founding fathers of Bridges. And when we started, it was a cold, raining Saturday morning. And even today, we are still striving to build a sustainable society. So I am indeed very excited to have with us Dr. Ike Niliaku, member, governing board of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, chairman, National Planning Committee of NIPR Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security. So that's where you are going. Dr. Ike, my brother, you're welcome on Bridges. And let me just get your feel. How do you feel sitting on the set? You were behind the camera for forever, and today you have to face the camera, as it were.
You know, one of the things that one would say that must go for you, Antimoji, is your capacity to sustain what is good. I remember how we started. I remember all the battles. I remember all the issues that kept coming as though this would not come to life. But your resilience kept pushing, kept pushing.
Thank you.
And we were able to have the first Bridges.
Bridges.
That was in 2012, isn't it?
Yes, 2012.
That's 9 years.
Yes.
Down the line.
Down the line.
And you have singularly sustained this effort. I think Nigeria should be grateful to you. That even in your retirement, when you ought to be resting, you are still handling issues like this. And Bridges has actually become more relevant today than it
ever
was 9 years ago
when we started.
So it's a great thing that you have done. Thank you very, very much for remaining there for us.
Thank you so much. I think that's the spirit that we want to bring to fore going forward on this program. So, Nigeria today, how did we get here? Bridging the Gap, that's the title. And I'll just like to start with you. Let's start the conversation. You recall that when we started Bridges was to have a platform for Nigerians, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, to have a voice to building a sustainable society. But look at where we are today. My brother Ike, are we where we should be as a nation?
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
So how did we get here?
Well, I think we got here a number of reasons, really. I keep quoting John Maxwell, who said many years ago that everything rises and falls on leadership. Some of us have come to make some amendment to that concept to say that everything is leadership. And when we talk about leadership, we're not talking about leadership of today, but we're looking at leadership as a progressive element. I think over time, we've not been able to get our leadership right. We've taken so many things for granted. I mean, let's look at the issue of nation building. Every nation is built as a product of state craftsmanship. State craftsmanship means that you look into your nation and you try to understand what would make it work. If the trust barometer of the nation is deficient, you don't need any oracle to tell you that you have to build trust among the component units of the federation. One of the things that God blessed Nigeria with is our diversity. I've never seen a nation like Nigeria. The quantum of the people, the great resource that God deposited in the Nigerian people. And he didn't stop there. He went further to bless the land of Nigeria across the
board.
federation.
That's it.
So if we have not been able to harness the diversities of our nation, we've not been able to put together the people of Nigeria. We've not been able to harness the resources, material resources, natural resources that God endowed this nation with. Who will you blame?
Now, I think, Prof, you just want to come in and let's also examine this background, what got us here.
Yeah, thank you so very much for the question. The question of how did we get here is a multidimensional question, which for me would can only be addressed from a multidimensional um, angle. I will weave my my intervention from the social angle around the family. The family is the simplest social unit, but it's the most important. Meaning that one's values are badly eroded at the family level, then society is in danger. We must also look at politics. How did we get there? Individuals come together to form political parties. Individuals without the right social values, once they don't have it, they cannot give it. Meaning that political parties that such individuals join lack the social values. It means that our political parties today are not like the political parties of yesteryears. Then it was ìwà pẹ̀lẹ́, ìwà akínkanjú, ìwà ọmọlúàbí, and so on and so forth that were praised. An Omoluabi was not necessarily a wealthy man. An Omoluabi can be a wealthy man. He can be, the individual can be he or she, either wealthy woman or wealthy man, but it is not the wealth that made him an Omoluabi. It is integrity, it is honesty, it is hard work, and so on and so forth that will label him as an Omoluabi. So, but somewhere along the line, money became the critical factor. So politically, we have also gotten it wrong. And when politics is wrong, or politics is no longer for public good, then there is a big problem waiting to happen.
Thank you, Prof, for that submission. Now, we have all realized the fact that we have challenges. I don't like to call them problems. I like to say challenges. But I believe that these challenges are surmountable. But we're looking at, we're looking at the whole gamut of leadership from the home front. We're looking at inclusion, gender inclusion, and I would rather say inclusion. I don't even like using the word exclusion. I'm looking at, because every one of us has a role to play, putting Nigeria together where we need to be. So I'll just run round again our resource persons. Let's start looking at what exactly should we the quick carrots that we can start picking and using to ensure, to change the narrative from where we are to the misery that whether you are affected or not, it gets to you.
I must have to commend the president of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, because what he has initiated is what some of us see as a game changer in the nation. When he came up with the concept of Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security, and he asked some of us to come and work with him on that project, it became very clear that the first survey we did, as professionals, we don't jump into things. The first survey we did revealed that we were not talking. We were just talking at each other, but we were not discussing. That's number one. The second revelation was that the trust gap has become so wide. The person from the East does not trust the person from the West. The person from the West does not trust the person from the North. And unfortunately, you used a word here, you said narrative. Communication is all about narrative. And narratives are shaped. And narratives have messages. And narratives have intentions. Those who design narratives have certain things at the back of their minds. I think part of the thing that has happened is that we left the wrong narrative for too long. And now we are beginning to reinvent a new narrative for Nigeria, which is what the Citizens Summit is meant to do. And it is being taken from the grassroots, at least at the state level, where we intend to have the State Consultative Forum. Let's hear from every state of the Federation. Let's come and discuss. We are citizens. It's not a government thing. We are citizens, primarily. And in one of the engagements that we had, you will be shocked, Auntie Moji, that about 80%, let me be conservative, about 80% of those who contributed to a live program that we had kept talking about the need for Nigeria to remain one. Many of us found that very interesting and exciting. About 80%. The only issue that they kept emphasizing is, can we come together and see how we can build a nation that everybody will be proud of, based on the principles of equity, fairness, justice, harmony, even distribution of resources, and so on and so forth across board. And NIPR has taken a bold step to say, look, we are lending our skills, we are lending our credibility, we are lending our professionalism, we are lending the integrity of our profession to say, look, let's provide a platform. And they discovered again, wisely, that they could not do it alone. They went on, and we have about 25 organizations now, very credible organizations, that are working with us on this project to see how we can re-engage. Can we just rethink Nigeria? Can we rethink Nigeria?
Beautiful. I'll take that from you. Can we rethink Nigeria? Dr. Umar, can we rethink Nigeria? In the face, yeah. Oh, I like that. That's, yeah, sure. I believe in it too, yes.
If we are willing and we are committed to it and we are sincere, we can rethink Nigeria. For
I
me,
remember.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say that I'll just do a quick run at what I think we can do going forward
Okay.
to take us back to where we want to be. I think there must be a deliberate and conscious paradigm shift from emphasizing on response to emphasis on prevention. That is the first one. I'll quickly add here, Moji, that a lot of work went into developing what is called the National Action Plan for the implementation of Resolution 1325. I happen to be part of the 4 consultants that developed the first NAP and one of the 6 that developed the second NAP. That reviewed NAP is just on the shelf. Can government support so that the implementation of that NAP can see the light of day? It is not necessary to come up with a national action plan just to decorate the shelves. We need to implement, and what is in that NAP is very, very key to taking us back to where we want to be. And we will have things like making sure that issues that breed and water hatred are dealt with. But my next point has to do with the approach that we use. We need a holistic approach to solving these problems, an inclusive peace processes. All hands, just like you listed, traditional rulers, government, legislators, citizens, all hands must be on deck. Unless everyone is committed to it, we will find a situation that we are in living longer than we expect, because while some people are working at resolving, others are working at undoing all the things that we are doing. And that has been our challenge in the NGO world. And I am trying to say here also that I support the last speaker. Building trust between government and the governed or the citizens is so important. And government must show evidence of sincerity of purpose. Enough of condemning. They must realize that they are there legitimately to deal with these issues. And that is why from the beginning we said leadership is the key. But the citizens also have to learn to hold all those that have sworn. They have sworn to upkeep and uphold the constitution of this country. And one of their very basic and fundamental mandate is the protection of lives and property of citizens.
Thank you very much. I agree absolutely with that. Let's hear from the academia. Prof is still online. Let's hear from him.
First and foremost, the university must go back to its original form, being a city of the universe, where various ideas and views come together. The university cannot be a place for narrow ideas of ethnicity, religion, and so on and so forth. Today's university is largely characterized by that. From which part of the country is he? A university, for a modern day university, must attract, if it is in Nigeria, must attract Indians, must attract Chinese, must attract all shades of opinions and views, people from across or from around the world. A university in Ibadan cannot compete globally if it is made up of people of your origin alone. That's a local university. The university has a big role to play. The university must continue to impact on society, and by way of being as objective as possible. We cannot run away from subjectivity, but the university must be at the cutting edge of development and value reorientation. I've always said this, and I would like to repeat it, that even at the height of war, if sanity exists in the university, there is huge hope for community and society. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, Prof. I'll just move it back. We're back now. The train is back here in Abuja. And I still have my brother Ike here with us. Now, okay, let's sum it up. What is it that, as you know, we should do like yesterday? My professor in school would always say, get it done like yesterday. What is it that, what train? Good. NIPR is jumping on this train to ensure that, you know, we begin to talk to ourselves. What are the things that really we need to do? Because when we're talking to ourselves, people think, oh, it's very elitist. But I'm happy that, you know, there's a bottom-up approach to it. Now, give us the final line.
Well, I think it's important for us, Moji, to see how we will begin to I'm trying to get the right word, de-escalate the principle of violent communications. This is something that government has to start doing now. We need to bring down the temperature because I see a lot of violence in our communication. It was Reverend Ladi Thompson that brought this up to our attention about 2 years ago. And you could see that, listen, the reason why we are talking to ourselves is because I have not been violently communicating to you. Once I violently communicate to you, you will react. You will not respond. You will react. But because of the kind of person you are, you may respond in your grace. But that's not the natural, that's not the default mode. I think we need to begin to, in rethinking Nigeria, we must communicate differently. We have to imbibe the principle of non-violent communication, which is African. Dr. Lydia Omar said this, that in the past, we used to have a way to resolve issues. Unfortunately, at that time, we will resolve issues concerning women in their absence, because we were told that women didn't have a say. May God help us, those of us men that have that kind of tendency. Because if you look at the value that God placed in this special breed that we call women, you will know that no society can grow outside recognizing and respecting the concept of womanhood. So, in summary, we must begin to talk to ourselves differently.
Finally, Moji, I know time is against us. I'd like to suggest that it is very important to take on board psychological and trauma healing for all the students, the children from schools that have been abducted, kidnapped, and everyone that has gone through that traumatic experience. There's need to put in place a very strong system where they can receive psychological and trauma healing. Thank you.
And I think, yes, and I think that for me is the essential of today's conversation, reconciliation. We need to reconcile. We need to speak to each other. And that's where platforms like what NIPR is trying to do and what we have committed to doing on Bridges, ensuring that we can speak out on issues that will build rather than deplete what we have. I must thank all of you for answering to the call of service, sparing your time to be here with us. This conversation must continue. We would, I can assure you, viewers, that subsequent episodes of these would also be part of what you will send to us. So we need to hear from you. We're going to have a two-way communication. Let's hear from you on these lines that are on your screen. We ensure that we will bring your thoughts and whatever you say to conversation. We'll bring these resource persons back together, they were carefully chosen, representing women, representing the academia, representing, of course, every part of Nigeria, so that together, they say, we build faster and better. Thank you, Ike.
you.
It's
Thank
good
you,
to
ma'am.
see you again. I'm sure within the COVID
Same here.
confines, I can still hold your hands.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
my sister in Kaduna, the work must continue. We must ensure that our children that are traumatized are given the professional intervention that is needed. And of course, Prof from Ibadan, I would always knock on your door. And on behalf of all of us, Bridgers, including you all, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bridges will be back same time next week. Remember, send us your thoughts. We are rethinking and rebuilding a sustainable Nigeria.
Amen.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back again same time next week.